Basketball player. In case you don't know what the Harlem Globetrotters are, we need to bring you up to speed into reality here. Let me tell you before we bring him up that I have, the only experience I have with the basketball is either getting hit by one or catching one in dodgeball. That was about it. So don't try anything with me. Very good. Ready? Basketball. I'm going to throw the ball around a little bit. Keep a clap going. You guys clap to this music? Do you know it's okay to have fun in church? That's actually a good thing. It's good to smile. You know you can worship God with basketball and baseball and football and just like you can sing, right? Anything you do. The Bible says that worshiping God is when you give Him your best in everything you do, right? Nice catch. Good girl. Here we go. Yep. Here we go. We got some basketball players all the way over there. Just kidding. Just kidding. Hey, let's give God a big round of applause. Come on. Isn't God awesome? Yeah. Everybody give it up for my best friend, good friend of mine who travels with me, DJ Big John. Everybody give him a big round of applause. Yep. We've been traveling for the last week going to public schools. And I was called by God to go into the public schools and share my story. And I didn't want to go there. I was really uncomfortable. I grew up in a Christian home, and my dad was a pastor. My grandfather was a pastor. My two brothers are pastors. My uncle is a pastor. My cousin was a pastor. I think my dog is a pastor. It's like everybody's a pastor. But you know what? There's a difference. I used to sit in church all the time. There's a difference between having God in your head and having Him in your heart. There's a big difference. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Michael Jordan. All right, there's some people here who've never played basketball, right? But you know who Michael Jordan is. Matter of fact, at one point, he was actually voted the #1 recognizable sports figure in the world. Basketball is not even the world's most famous sport, but he was the most recognizable. And a lot of people know things about him. Raise your hand if there's something you could tell me about Michael Jordan. What was his number? 23, right? What was his second number? Because remember he retired and then he said, "No, I still want to be better than everyone else." And he came back and played again? 45, right? What other sport did he attempt to play besides basketball that he should have never tried? I'm just teasing. Yeah. Yeah, baseball. He tried playing baseball. He's pretty good. Do you know he was in the movies? What movie was he in? Space Jam with Bugs Bunny. Remember that cartoon movie where they had a human with cartoons? It was kind of weird. It was pretty cool. He's playing basketball against monsters in space. Pretty awesome. That's some stiff competition. He was also in a music video with Michael Jackson. How many championships did he win? He won, nice, we got some basketball fans here. 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls. And who was his best teammate? Scottie Pippen, the guy with the big nose who could dunk real big. Yeah, Scottie Pippen. There were a lot of other people on the team. He was a gold medalist. Do you know where he was a gold medalist? Barcelona. He was on the box of a cereal. Anybody know what cereal? Wheaties. See, you guys know. Even if you're not a big fan, they know these things. He has his own sneakers. If you have a pair, you know, because it took all the money you had to get a pair, right? He's got a clothing line. He's got all kinds of different things. There's a lot of things about Michael Jordan that you could know. Now I want to ask you a question. What do you think would happen with all of your knowledge of Michael Jordan if you decided, you know, me and him, we're boys, we're close, we're buddies. I think I'm going to go to his house. So you decide to Google Michael Jordan's address, and let's just say you get lucky and you find it. And you get in your car, you know that Mercedes-Benz you've got? You get in that Mercedes-Benz. I drove a minivan here, by the way. Anybody love minivans? You know you've been married and you have kids when you check other people's minivans out? It's a pretty hot minivan. All right, got some game. I drove here in a Windstar, a Ford Windstar. But you know, some of you are the ones that you can just picture in your mind, you've really got it going on, and you get in that high-class Mercedes-Benz, and you let the top down, and you're driving to go see one of the most recognizable people in the world. Someone calls you, and of course, you use every opportunity you get to let them know where you're going. Right? Grandma calls, sorry, Grandma, I can't come over. I'm going to see my buddy, Michael Jordan. Yes, Grandma, it's true. We're friends. We're buddies. Yeah, every once in a while we hang out. Sorry, no spaghetti and meatballs this Sunday, Grandma. I'm going to Jordan's house. Someone else calls you. Yeah, sorry, I can't make it. I'm going to Michael Jordan's house. We're buddies. And, you know, every single chance you get, you're letting people know where you're going. You ever have a situation like that? You couldn't even help yourself? You just had to kind of squeak in somehow to let people know what you're doing, just because you feel so good about it, right? So you're in your car, and finally you get to the house, but you know, have you ever seen Michael Jordan's house? It's probably better you don't. You'd probably live the rest of your life being jealous. I mean, this house is pretty nice. It's pretty cool. He's got these really cool gates, and he's got the Jordan symbol on the giant gates, and it's even hard just to get to it. It's got his number 23 in giant, you know, letters. And let's say, you know, for some reason, for whatever reason, you know, usually I guess when best friends drive up, the gates just fly open. But for you, they won't budge. And you decide, you know, I guess they're broken, you know, because you know so much about Michael Jordan that, you know, all you have to do is just get to him and, you know, it'll be okay. So what you decide to do is climb the fence. You know, you get out of your car and you got your Sharpie with you so he can sign your stuff for your kids because, you know, they're number one. And you you climb over, and all of a sudden, for some reason, his dogs don't recognize you. I mean, I don't know what it is, but usually, you know, when someone has a pet, you recognize their, you know, hey, did you start running, and you like, kind of like in the cartoons, just out of nowhere, you have one of those giant stakes. You just pull a giant steak out of your pocket, and the dogs go running after it. All of a sudden, you run and you jump through all the laser wires. You know those, you take all the baby powder and you throw it up. And you realize there's all those wires, you know, lasers, and most people, your grandkids especially, don't know that you can do flips and stuff, but you get through them all, and you end up somehow, you know, the security guard with the gun, he wasn't looking, and you got past him. I don't know how you did that, but you got past him. And you get all the way to Michael Jordan's front door, and you knock on